All right, good morning. If I look like I'm half dead, it's because I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I've been dealing with this little cutie down here, which you'll see in a little. We have a cameo coming up with one of our new dogs. Um, Come here, baby. Come here. This. This is Cleo. Cleo's a Porty. She's a 6 month old Portuguese water dog. She's generally sweet, but she's got to get a lot of work done. She's never really had any obedience and is a pretty rambunctious puppy. I mean, what a fucking overkill, rambunctious puppy. She's a puppy. She's a 6 month old puppy. She's got a lot of life in her, and we're just going to like channel that into good things. Before I get started on the video, you'll notice one thing, right? She is a puppy. You notice what I've got her on? She's on a leash. Okay? Every time this dog comes out of the kennel, she's going to be on a leash. She's got to learn how to operate on the leash before she ever gets even the littlest amount of freedom off leash. If you got a puppy, put them on a leash. Have them drag it around. Have them do whatever. Get a leash you don't care about. I've got garbage leather leashes that I like that I'll let them use. I have other ones, but put a leash on the dog. It's so easy for me to control this dog right now, even while I'm making this video. Okay, because there's a leash on them. Don't get tricked into not putting a leash on the dog. Hey, cut that out. And last thing I'll say before we get into the video topic, if your puppy likes to bite on the leash, get a get like a lemon, cut it in half, and rub it all over the base of the thing. That should stop it. If that doesn't stop it, you can also make like lemon water and give them a nice little spray in the mouth when they go to bite the leash end. No, stop that. Anyways, today's video I wanted to talk about socialization. Really, I want to talk about the myth of socialization, which you get so many people talking about certain things, right? You hear buzzwords in dog training all the time, and one of the ones that gets tossed around all the time is socialization. And it gets tossed around incorrectly, okay? People talk about socializing their dog. Um, let's be very clear. First things first, socialization occurs in the early weeks of the dog's development with its pack, with its litter, and with its mother, okay? He's playing with this leash. Um, the mother and the pack, like litter mates, are the ones that are going to teach your dog or puppy um, socialization. Its social skills around other dogs will be developed in the early weeks, like pre 8 week stage. Dealing with puppy situation here. This is just what it is. But I can control it once again because he's on a leash. Um, yeah, your puppy gets socialized in the early weeks. Um, pre 8 weeks, the dog is learning its social skills around other dogs. This notion that trainers put out there that a dog can get socialized by being around other dogs that are calm or being around their trained dogs, it's kind of not true. I mean, it's I don't want to call them liars outright, but it's not true. Socialization doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. You can expose your dogs to more at that stage. You can expose them to more things to help them not be skittish or scared, right? You should definitely get your dog out around other dogs and around other people and around other sounds. You should be doing that at a young age too. Obviously, be smart with regards to the dog's shots and where you're putting the dog on the ground and stuff like that. Um, uh, but this idea that you could socialize a dog past the um, early stages of development, you know, it's just a lie. That's not how socialization works. Um, don't let trainers trick you into this like, oh, buy this puppy class and we're gonna have your puppies run around with this other dog or these dogs that we bring to the park. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're lying to you for your money. Okay? Don't fall for it. There's no point in listening to any trainer, liar, grifter, dog whisperer, any trainer that tells you they can socialize your dog or that they specialize in socialization of dogs, they are lying. What they need to be talking about is exposure, right? The dog needs exposure. Cut that out. Dog needs exposure to things, not socialization. They need exposure so um, that they're not jumpy. and skittish, that they know how to operate in a situation where they're excitable. Hey, I know you're having fun, but you got to chill. Um, and so it's important to remember that your dog can't be socialized outside of the early weeks of development. Hey, no. And anything you're doing after that is simply it's simply exposure. It's exposure. You really want to get after it, Cleo? No, stop it. Good girl. Um, where was I? Exposure. It's not socialization, it's exposure to stimuli, external stimuli outside of what they normally use, right? You would always start training within a house, then in a yard, and then you get out into the areas where there's distraction, stimuli. You got to expose your dog to distraction, and that goes into, excitement, flooding, pushing a dog past that moment of like overflow. That's a different video for a different day. Today is just about don't trust trainers who tell you that they're going to socialize your dog at the park in a 2 hour session or something, a group class. It's ridiculous. Don't listen to people like that. And don't listen to people who tell you to take the dog to the dog park. Don't take your dog to the dog park to socialize with them. That's tomorrow's video, how destructive and horrific dog parks are for dogs. Don't take your dog to a dog park, okay? We'll get into that tomorrow, but dog parks are a great place where people go to forget their dogs, check out, and let their dogs just run around like an asshole. And that's why people's dogs get into dog fights at the dog park. There are uses for the dog park. We'll go over them tomorrow, but don't be tricked into either of those things. Your dog doesn't need socialization, okay? No human is teaching a dog social skills, okay? What you need to do if your dog is acting like a dick, you need to you need to call a balanced trainer, a trainer who focuses on obedience, a professional who can teach the dog what behaviors are acceptable and conditioning commands, obedience commands with the dog so that you can administer them in a moment of excitement. And then over time, you continue sending that correct message to the dog so that the dog understands what kind of behavior is acceptable around other dogs. Okay. And spoiler alert, the only behavior that's acceptable around other dogs is calm compliancy. That's what a dog should do. Okay. And that's why you need to call a competent trainer if you can't get your dog on track doing that. But this idea that you can take your dog to a class for 2 hours with other people's dogs, and just because those dogs are calm, they're going to magically transfer that information to your dog. It's bullshit. It's a lie. Don't get tricked into it. Don't think there are shortcuts to training your dog. There aren't. Okay. Maybe you've gotten lucky in the past with dogs. For instance, Cleo's owner had two porties before this that she didn't need to do any training. They just happened to be perfect. Cleo is not perfect. She's got a lot of issues. You can see me fooling around with her this whole time, right? She's just an excitable dog. She will learn over time what is not acceptable, what is acceptable, and will be able to override her instincts to be jumpy or hyper or whatever with obedience. Right now, she's in a down position. I can manage her, okay? Because we worked on that. It's not something she just does. We worked on it. Don't fall for these people who tell you that you need to socialize your dog or that they can socialize your dog. Your dog gets socialized within the first 8 to 10 weeks, usually within the seventh week if you want to be realistic. Okay, there'd be some argument with that, but socialization is taught by the litter mates and the mother. Okay, the rest of it is up to you to train the dog and expose them to things. And don't take your dog to the dog park. You take your dog to the dog park, you're going to turn your dog into a fighter. They're going to get into a fight. I guarantee it. That's what happens at the dog park. Take your dog to the dog run. You let them run around and make friends. And guess what? They're going to mock fight. They're going to get positive reinforcement from mock fighting. It's going to make them think that fighting is a positive thing. And then they're going to get into a fight one day. Okay? That's what happens at the dog park because people are checked out.